Hotep family, you're tuning into the pro-black perspective on KWAZ Radio, and of course, if you ain't know already, it's time for Warship. There you go. So, I'm of course Onitaset Kumat, author of the Book of Power, pro-black compendium, and of course Zubiri in the Moon to my eye. We on KWAZ Radio. You already know there's so many good programs. If you're trying to hear some good podcasts, you just got to tune in. Each of them is fire, interesting, and engaging. So, but let me just get right into it though. This is the Warship. You know, every week you got to dedicate yourself to some sort of militancy. You know, some sort of like ground yourself, because right now as a people, we're not even like half of the things that you read online ain't even gonna make sense. It's gonna make sense to you if you believe the nonsense, you know. But one thing we're gonna just do a weekly update, right? One thing I picked up on is that, like, real talk, a lot of people don't know nothing. Okay? And I mean, I know you say, hey, that's a double negative. Don't sweat that. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of people just don't know anything, you know? And this includes white folk. You know, I was just, because, you know, some of y'all love Bernie Sanders, right? So Bernie Sanders writes something online. He's like, man, you know, under Trump's, economic stimulus plan, more people got money. And it's like, yo, first of all, I don't like Bernie Sanders. You know, I don't like this dude. I just don't like it, right? So I see this thing, and I'm just like, you know, somebody else like, they should just give everybody a check. You know, everybody deserves money. It's like, you know, the money comes from nothing. It's like, look, like how dumb you gotta be to believe that you could just print money and there's no economic consequences. That money, you just give everybody $1 billion. Now world hunger solved. Like, does that make sense to you? You know, like you just like people in the other countries are just starving because the governments just don't want to print the money and give it to them. Like no, that's not the case. You have to understand how economics, how banking, how financing works. There's how nations run. And when you realize that a lot of people don't understand how nations operate, this is the part of the reason why black folk run into so many problems. Because, see, the white folk don't know, right? A lot of the white folk don't know, and we copying them. You know, we copying them. So it's like, you know, this is what I'm bringing to you, okay? We bring in a warship. We bring in the understanding not just of war, but also of peace, all right? So, you know, peace is that, you know, look, real talk, you can't just give out a bunch of money, because essentially you're borrowing against your future. You understand? Your country could go in debt, and if you unintelligently put your country into debt, they'll always be in debt. And this is what you see in Africa. Countries are always in debt because they're unintelligently putting themselves in debt. Now, if you are intelligently invested in the infrastructure, investing in the economy, developing and building, you don't have to be in debt, and you can have a surplus, and then with that surplus, you can use it accordingly. All right? But if you're not understanding that, if you're not grasping that, you're going to always be behind. So, you know, real talk, I want you, you know, if nothing else, I want you to sit back and say to yourself, you know, how can I, all right, like, what would I be doing if I got the phone call? All right? If I got the phone call, what would I be doing in this new African nation? Right? That's what you got to develop. If you get the phone call, what are you going to be doing? That's my question to you. All right? But we're going to jump into the warship, because, again, like I said, it's time for warship. All right? If ever an African finds their station in this world desperate due to their enemy, let a voice rise up in their head. Have you tried war? With the eternal instruction that the world runs on warfare, you have to understand this. Like I picked up France for 9. I just read only 20 pages, right, of Wretched of the Earth. And it's a good read. It's a simple read. You know, he's talking about decolonization, you know, in a way that's really not, you know, too popular. It like, honestly, it wouldn't even make any sense, to be honest. But I don't make as much sense, but, you know, it's whatever, right? And by not making sense, he's talking about decolonizing in the sense of you just wipe out everything that these white folk brought, just everything, and that's fine. You know, clean slate. It's just kind of impractical, and it probably creates a power vacuum that you will always lose. You know what I mean? Because, you know, you'll be surrounded by modern states, and you know, I'm telling y'all, you know, I don't want to say what it was. I saw this animation where they had this modern military fight against a fantasy or a feudal military, and the modern military just ended up colonizing them. Obviously, you know, it's just common sense. You know, so you know, you can't necessarily like that's one of the troubles with decolonization. Now, of course, that just means that it's neocolonialism, right? So it really is a complicated matter, but again, this is why you have to understand, the power of war and what war is. So Warship is the name of the game. Warship is the basis of all of this. But all the same, what I want you to understand is that yeah, you have to have your voice rise up. You have to have you have to understand that the world runs on warfare, and everything that you know to be of importance is kind of like on the backdrop of it is war. Like even the civil rights movement. It was they said I think it might be L.A. but L.A. riots. L.A. riots really prompted the civil rights movement. Anytime that like violence is because we're animals. Okay, we're humans, and humans are animals. All right. A lot of people don't like when you say that, but like, let's just be real. We're humans and we're animals, so there are things that guide us. There are things that move us, and like fighting moves us. It's like me. I'm a good guy, right? I'm sitting down in my chair, and somebody says, "Hey man, Oni, I want $300. I see you got $300, right? I want $300, right?" I say, no. I mean, look, I don't know you. I don't know what, blah, blah. They give me a solid punch to the face, right? And I say they're bigger than me. Oh, there's 10 of them. 10 of them, they punch me in the face. It's like, yeah, okay, what you want? You want $300 each or $300? You know what I'm saying? Like you got to start, like this is how the world works. Now, of course, later on, I might get the crew. You understand? I might get the crew, and, I get my $600 back. You understand? They're going to be like, man, it was only $300. I get my $600 back. But you understand, the world is run on war, the world is run on violence, and this is actually the first chapter of Veterans of Warfare. He says it's called On Violence. Like the whole thing is that you have to use this violence. This is the only thing that's really going to free you. And like if you're not using violence and you're not free, like don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. That's really the whole thing. If you're not using violence and you're not free, don't be surprised. That's like right there. That's the quote of the day. All right. Let me see if I can just write it down. If you're not that's it. That's the quote of the day. All right, family. So we're gonna go to the next one. I love it. I love this. We're gonna keep going, right? So it is time to develop ourselves. We have land our enemies cannot use. Let us put it to the use of being free. So this is really what it is, man. After the violence, after the war, after you liberate the land, that's when you have to start being free. That's when you start being free. I tell you, because I don't want to say, because this is like one of the most awesome sisters on Twitter, right? Is she was saying something about Haiti and how the police were fighting the Haitians, and she's like, why how are we gonna be free if the police is killing our people for a buck? And it's like real talk. I didn't want to say, but it's like and of course she hears me, whatever, she awesome, it's all good, right? But it's like, look. Like, you ain't gonna be free until you free. You ain't gonna be free before you free. You understand? That's it. You not gonna be free before you're free, so you have to free yourself. Like, the first thing you gotta do is free yourself, and the only way you're gonna free yourself from a violent oppressor is how? Come on. Ladies and gentlemen, go back to the thing, man. You're not free until you free. You understand? And you're not free until you're free, right? There's another quote of the day, man. This is So you have to. So you're either freeing or you're not free. So you're either freeing or you're not free. You understand? So what you're either freeing or you're not freeing. So what is freeing? See what I'm saying? So what is freeing? That's the question. This is a philosophy class right now. Okay, we talking about worship. So what is freeing a people? What is freeing a people? Freeing. That means being in the process of becoming free. Right? That's what you have to ask yourself. And that's really what it comes back to. Because freeing means that you getting the land. Freeing means that you killing the colonizers or making the colonizers flee. You understand? You understand? But you're not doing that right now. And because you're not doing that right now, I don't even want to hear from you. I'm just talking about general. I'm not talking about nobody in particular. I'm saying I don't want to hear from you if you ain't doing the freeing. I know you might be like, well, honey, man, well, what about you? Are you freeing? It's like, look, man, sometimes you got to figure out where you at You know, if it wasn't for this, like I'm telling you, like I said, some situations are more complicated than other situations. But what I'm telling you is just for your sake. You know, like don't even sweat what the other person's doing. Real talk. Don't even sweat what the other person's doing. You gotta ask you, because you on this world, like you was born on this world to be you. You was born on this world to be free. Don't worry about how the next man ain't free, because he's never gonna be free. Okay, a lot of people never gonna be free. Look at your parents. Look at your grandparents. Look at your great grandparents. Were they free? And were they ever gonna be free? You know, don't worry about freeing the next man. A lot of folks never gonna be free, and that's just facts. You know, that's just facts on top of facts. So you gotta say to yourself, you know, don't even worry about me. You feel me? Don't even worry about me. Okay? You understand? Worry about yourself. That's it. You know, only way, because look at this right here. This is a quote in the vein of the Maroons, right? The Maroons started, like, first off, the Maroons got themselves free, period, right? But they started freeing people on the plantation when they were free. You understand? I mean, the way how you get free from a plantation is you run off the plantation first. Then you defend yourself. I mean, when you defend your freedom, that's obvious. But you already free when you're defending your freedom. But then when you free, then you can say, you know what? I got the resources. I can go into the plantation, burn the plantation, get some people. Okay? That's what you could do. But if you just on the plantation, working day and night, talking about freedom, yo man, I wish I was free. I wish I was blah blah blah. And you know, I'm not even talking about freedom. What you're talking about is, oh well, you know, shoot, massa, he only gave us a piece of cornbread today. He gave us 2 cornbread last week. I think things are going wrong, massa. Right? If you're doing that, shit. You know what I'm saying? You wasting my damn time. You know, just me even thinking about you is wasting my damn time. So I'm just gonna go to the next one, right? We are engaged in a race war, though not simply a race war. Alright? For though black and white are in contest, black and black is another contest that will decide whether our people will be chained or gilded. Okay? And this is what I'm saying. Like you have to realize that even though you find this white boy, even though this white boy is your enemy, listen to me. Even though this white boy is your enemy, you're gonna have black folk right beside you who gonna try to sell you out. You know what I'm saying? And that right there is one of the most important things there is. Cause like even if I like you say, you know, you got, like I said, this brother talking about, oh man, you know, all I want is another piece of cornbread, right? That dude he's a problem. Okay? There's another brother who gonna hear him talk about he want another piece of cornbread. He gonna go to massa. He gonna go to I don't call him massa, but you understand? He gonna go to white boy and he gonna be like, you know, this guy, he be talking about he want another piece of cornbread, you know? Or they don't like you because you don't give enough cornbread. Like some sort of nonsense, right? And it's all fine, it's all good, but you have to understand, right? You have to understand that none of these people, like these people is in the way. Okay, they snitching. Or even, and that's another thing too. You'd be like, you know, let's say you're on a plantation, you can start, yeah, man, you know, we're gonna gut this motherfucker like a fish. We're gonna gut this white boy like a fish, right? Somebody else gonna be all, shit, nah, you ain't gonna do that. You ain't gonna do that, not on my watch. The brother gonna say that to you. You understand? You have to understand that people among you, you know, it's like not all skin folk is kinfolk, man. Look here, you gonna find out. At some point, you're going to find out that like 99% of skin folk ain't kin. You're going to see in your own family. You're going to see in your own family that they ain't family. Sure. That's a whole word right there. But anyway, we're going but you got to understand this. If your own family ain't going to be loyal to your cause and your liberation, what makes you think every other black person going to be? Come on, you already like, that's just common damn sense. Let's jump to it, man. All right, this is important right here. This is number 10. I do not need you to study names. I need you to understand our circumstance, right? White men came from across the seas. They navigated oceans to come for us, make war, and gain prisoners. You have to understand. Like, there's something that is just common damn sense. Okay? You like the thing with us is that we like studying names. We're like, oh my gosh, you know, Amos Wilson. You know, when Amos Wilson said his little, it's like, yo, okay, I got you. You know, in 1440, blah blah blah. And this person, like, I don't need you to know no names. Even when it comes to white folk, it's like, you know, you're like, well, the ancient Greeks, what they did is blah blah blah, Romans and blah blah. Like, shut up. What you have to understand is that nobody, this is the white boy. The white boy came across the ocean. You know how big the ocean is? I was reading, as a matter of fact, I'm reading this book, this little book. It's a children's book from Marcus Garvey, right? You know, I got a child, I read children's books, right? And it's about Marcus Garvey, so that's dope. They talking about Marcus Garvey had a ship, I think it was in America, and I think it went to Cuba, right? Cuba, whatever, right? And it left America in November and arrived in Cuba in March. Okay? So that means, like, if you're talking about United States, so since the presidential election, and another month from now, right? That's how long they was traveling between these two close points. You not making that long ass trip for nothing. Okay? You not making that long ass trip for nothing. These white boys came from Europe. They went all the way down to West Africa. They're not just going there for shits and giggles. They're not going there for a handshake. You know, it might have taken them, I don't know how many, it might have taken them a few months to make that trip, that voyage. How much food they had to use. How much food they needed to come back. How much this, how much that. Okay? You don't make that shit for free. So they came there for a purpose. Okay? They came there for a purpose. And that purpose is to pick you up. Get some war, get some prisoners. Get the profit. Alright? Understand that. That's all you need to understand. When you get that, like, you don't need to say they know, oh, well, the French, well, like, it don't matter. If there are people willing to invest their lives in taking yours, that's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. You understand? Like nothing else makes you clear that these are your enemies. Like, come on. Like, I don't even, like, again, I'm not even trying to take up your time. I'm not trying to take up my time. Alright? I'm not trying to take up either of our times. Understand that these white boys traversed the earth to get you, and you still captured. You still captured. Let's go to 11. These whites and Western Eurasians, they were slaves for 700 years at the hands of Central Eurasians, their bastards and Ascaris. So you have to understand, right? These white boys, you might be like, oh my gosh, I don't know why you guys can't enslave us. They were enslaved by Northern Africans and people from the Middle East. Okay? That's what happened. They were enslaved for 700 years at the hands of Northern Africans and people from the Middle East. Some Western Africans too. Okay? Period. They know it. That's why they came back in force. You heard of the Crusades? And then you hear about the transatlantic, Ma'afa. White folks know what they doing, man. You the only person that just forgot history. They know what they doing. They like, oh, you thought you was big, but now I got the gun. Now I got the power. Now I got the force. And all you gotta do is say the same thing back. You gotta be like, look, you thought you was big, now I got the gun. I got the force. I got the power. You already know how to get the power. You know the book. You know the book. You know what I'm saying? Book of Power on Amazon. You already know. But let's go. 12. This is the last one right here. As long as we know our story and their story, we will never be slaves. But if we only know his story, we are hopeless. And that's the thing with us as a people. We only know history. We only know his story. We don't know our story. We don't know their story. We only know his story, what he's telling us. What we need to know is what we know, what we should know. And that's common sense. But what we need to know is what we need to know. You understand? Our story, their story. We'll never be slaves that way. But if you, because even me, like right now, I'm like I'm good. I'm good. But if you only know his story, you only know what he's telling you. He's only telling you the half part, the part that make him seem like he alright and you not. You hopeless. And a lot of black folk is hopeless. You know? Like the story that's coming around circulating, it's probably already old news by the time you hear this, but there's a sister, I don't know what her name is, right? she decided, look, I'm trying to make myself look cute. You know, I don't know where she's trying to go. She's trying to spread some coronavirus. I don't know, right? But this woman, she did, you know, she's trying to look cute. She ran out of her soap product, whatever, her hair care product. She decides, look, you know, I ran out of my hair care product, but I gotta get my edges flat or something. I don't know what that means, so don't even quote me, right? She sprays Gorilla Glue into her hair and f's it up. And it's like, girl, why would you grab Gorilla Glue? Like what? Like what? You know, like that's it's furniture glue. You know what I mean? Like it's furniture glue. You know, it's like I want to put together some piece of furniture or some electronic that I don't want to break anymore. Why would you put that on here, let alone straighten hair? You know? And she done messed it up. But the thing is this too, that people are like, oh my gosh, let's talk about the story all day. Let's follow her life. And that's all you got. That's all you got. You understand? Hopeless. It's hopeless. But anyway, you know, thanks so much for listening. Thanks so much for tuning in. You know, I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you share. Hope you like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Definitely tune in to the other programs on KWZ Radio. They putting out some content, and it's excellent. So, you know, but without further ado, I would like to thank you for listening, and of course tell you Shem Em Hotep. In other words, I go in peace.